Okay, and we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with this evening's live stream. It is 7:35 Spain mainland time, and it is the 27th of July today. The month of July flying by, as I have said, and almost into the month of August, the month when lots of Spain shuts down for their summer vacation. We're going to take a look at some of the main stories that have caught my attention today. We'll look at some comments that have been left on the channel in recent times by viewers, and we'll also go into the live stream and see what is happening there this evening. So if you are watching in that live stream, say hello. Now we'll get straight into the news, and Spain's southern border again making headlines. The autonomous city of Ceuta down there in the north of Africa, as we can see here, and the city is crying for help as surge in unaccompanied minors overwhelms care system. The autonomous city of Ceuta has issued an urgent appeal to Spain's central government following the arrival of 54 unaccompanied Moroccan minors who entered illegally between Friday afternoon and night. Most swam around the maritime barrier at Tarajal, which separates Ceuta from the Moroccan town of Fenique. With migration pressure increasing ahead of August, the city's child protection system is operating far beyond its capacity. Local police units were deployed to locate those who had reached the shore undetected by the civil guard. The miners were found near the old Tarajal industrial zone and transferred to temporary shelters. On Saturday, the civil guard, supported by its underwater activities unit, maintained patrols along the coast. Morocco's Royal Gendarmerie also assisted in intercepting and returning swimmers. Ceuta's government, led by Juan Vivas from the PP Party, or the Popular Party, is calling for a national coordinated response. It currently shelters 460 unaccompanied minors, despite only having facilities for 132. So the problem down there in Ceuta, again making headlines. We saw this on numerous occasions last year, I think it was, in the year before, when these young Moroccan youths or youths from other African countries that are in that part of the world storm into Spain, get around the border controls normally by swimming. A treacherous route it is, I think, having to swim around that barrier in the rough seas. Sometimes the kids don't make it, sometimes they do. And of course, when they arrive in Spain, Spanish state obviously needing to look after them, they become wards of the state many times, and it creates great political tension in the rest of Spain because these kids need to be moved on from Ceuta, because as we saw there, they don't have the resources in that part of the country to handle so many unaccompanied minors coming into that part of Spain. 460 currently there, but only facilities for 132. So what needs to be done? Does the central government need to get its act together, create more facilities down there to help the city out, or do they bring these kids to mainland Spain, which is what sometimes happens? And as I said, creating political problems, because a lot of the autonomous communities led by certain political parties don't want to take these kids in, and that's the issue. So again, the problem of these unaccompanied minors creating problems when it comes to Spain's immigration system down there in the south of the country, or the north of Africa, if you like, where those two autonomous cities, Ceuta and Melilla, are located. Second piece of news now, in the island of Ibiza in the spotlight, and it has been in the spotlight for the last week or so, given the death of an Italian DJ on the island. As we can see here, conflicting accounts surround DJ Godzi's death in Ibiza. The death of Italian DJ Michele Nocchesi, known as DJ Godzi, in Ibiza on Saturday, that's last Saturday, not yesterday, has sparked controversy because the civil guard and his family Between the civil guard and his family, I should say, Nochizi died in a house in Santa Eulalia after reportedly being restrained by private security and civil guard agents. His family has been authorized by a local court to carry out medical tests on his body to clarify the cause of death. His father, a well-known doctor from Naples, told La Repubblica that his son had been tied up and beaten and vowed to seek justice. The civil guard has released a statement claiming that on the 19th of July they received several emergency calls about violent incidents at Nochizi's home. They allege he attacked his partner, who escaped via a balcony, and had also fought with two other individuals. However, the family's lawyer insists that Nochizi had no history of violence, and his friends and relatives are shocked by the allegations. So this is a story that has been dominating the press in Spain over the last week or so. These conflicting accounts, as we can see here, between the family's events on what happened on that fateful night for them, and also from Spain's police, the civil guard on the island, who the family are claiming beat their son up. And I don't know, those are allegations at the moment, but apparently the autopsy has shown that he had several cracked ribs, and the police are alleging that he came at them with a knife, I think is the story. And of course, another story has broken or has come to light because of this, and it is the increasing problem of drug use and wild alcohol use on the island of Ibiza. And I think 3 other people have also died over the last week or so, or in recent times on the island, from this type of thing. So we'll see if we can get to the bottom of this issue. His family seeking justice there, but of course the civil guard in Spain saying that maybe they were defending themselves against the violent attacker. I don't know. Those are some of the allegations that are being put out there. But according to the family, as we saw, no history of violence from this Italian DJ. So we'll see if we can get to the bottom of this one or not. But again, the problems that maybe are arising on these party islands, because as we know, sometimes the situation can get out of control. And the third piece of news here, we'll get straight into it. We've seen this story quite a lot in the press in recent times. The fact that a lot of people in Spain trying to go on a holiday has become a luxury in 2025. Holidaying in Spain has never been as expensive as it is this year, with rising costs affecting nearly every aspect of travel. Airfares have soared by 12% compared to last year, especially impacting the Canary Islands, where residents rely heavily on flights. Hotel prices have also increased significantly, up 40% compared to pre-pandemic levels in 2019. The average hotel night now costs €130, with luxury 5-star hotels exceeding €300. Many Spaniards now resort to sharing apartments to cut expenses. Train fares have risen over 5% and cruise prices by 7.4%. A typical 3-day holiday now costs over €300, making foreign travel occasionally cheaper than domestic trips. Dining out is also pricier, with small increases even in basic items like beer and tapas. Despite these challenges, Spaniards remain committed to summer breaks, using strategies like last-minute deals, shorter stays, or even taking out loans to afford their holidays. So the reality there for many people in the country, taking a holiday has become a luxury in their own country because of the rising costs associated to hotels, airfares, and not only that, but also eating out. I looked at an article yesterday which said that in Benidorm, the higher end restaurants obviously seeing an increase from foreign tourists in that part of Spain, Benidorm, but the locals not on board when it comes to spending more money on things like this, I don't think, or at least that was the article that was being put forward. And the rising cost of living in Spain affecting a lot of people. The economy going great guns apparently, but a lot of people being squeezed out by the increasing prices. And of course, when 100 million foreigners come into your country on holidays, the prices go up. I can see it here where I am on the coast in Portugal. Prices have gone up, sometimes 10%, and that, of course, affects the locals. Tourists come, they've got extra money in their pockets coming from countries where purchasing power is higher than the local economy, and it does have an impact on locals when it comes for people wanting to holiday in their own country. And as we saw there, sometimes going abroad is cheaper than staying at home, which don't know whether we're on the right track if that is the case, but again, just my opinion. Now, we're going to take a look at some comments that have been left on the channel in recent times. We'll get straight into them, and the first one here from Biosin or something here. Another reason Spaniards don't go to restaurants in tourist areas is because they hike up the prices of the food. Bilbao locals have told me that the pinchos have gone up in price due to tourism. I've recently returned to Bizkaia after living abroad, and the tourism seems to be benefiting a select few, while the rest are impacted negatively. And that's what we just saw. The prices going up because of tourism. Apparently, people coming into these cities have more money in their pockets, are able to pay more money, and the bar and restaurant owners take advantage of this, and also the rising costs when it comes to produce as well in Spain, no doubt also forcing the prices up. And locals, obviously, if they want to have their pinchos, Bilbao is a city that is famous for pinchos. If you're not sure what a pincho is, basically it's some type of tapa. You go into a bar in Bilbao and they're all over the counter, whether they be specialty pinchos or more basic pinchos, but you can see them there. And of course, you buy a drink and you order one of these pinchos because they're not free. In some parts of the country, you get free tapas, but in the Basque Country, or at least the city of Bilbao, where I have been to a few times over the years, you have to pay for the pincho, and the prices are going up, so your night out becomes more expensive, or you don't go out at all if you can't afford to do so. So thanks for the comment there, and that's the issue, not only in the north of Spain, but all over the country currently with the rising prices. Second comment, this one here from David. Any politician that lies on their CV is not trustworthy and should not be in politics. Unfortunately, this happens everywhere these days. The notion of honesty being totally ignored, This was a story that we saw also in yesterday's video. A young politician, I say young, 32 years of age was the age of the politician who resigned last week because her CV was questioned by the opposition parties to her party. Of course, she was a PP, Partido Popular politician, and the opposition parties, the PSOE party, questioned her CV, her qualifications, and she admitted to falsifying it or lying on her CV, I think. And we'll see another comment about this. Apparently, she came down because she said she had a law degree, and it wasn't the case. The political party, the PP, had put a lot of faith in her because she was a social media influencer. And of course, the political parties in Spain are looking to get their influence onto social media to attract the younger voters. Some political parties are doing this better than others at the moment, not mentioning any names, but one political party very successful on social media with the youth of Spain. And the PP struggling in this regard. And they had this politician, Noelia, I think was her name, Noelia Núñez, and of course she resigned last week. And other politicians have been called into question, trying to justify or being told to justify their CVs as well. And some politicians have subsequently modified their CVs as a result of this young woman politician, female politician, being brought down. So we'll see what happens. And the comment here, that any politician that lies on their CV is not trustworthy. You could come to that conclusion, because if they're lying on their CV, what else are they not being upfront about? That is the question. But I'm sure this is something that doesn't only happen in Spain. It would happen all over the place. Politicians trying to fudge the information on their CVs to make them more credible among the population when it comes to voting for them, I think. And especially in Spain, where having a good CV is considered to be very, very important, more than other places that I have seen. And some people go to a lot of trouble to stack their CV. But anyway, we'll move on. Another comment here. This one from Linda. When I was over in May, I tried different restaurants and bars, some Spanish and some English, from cheap to expensive. I like to help keep the places going. Thanks, Linda, for your effort to help keep the restaurants going with your custom, with your business, the business that you are giving them, trying different places, some Spanish, some English, cheap to expensive. I'm sure in some parts of the country you have that choice. You can go to different restaurants and you can give your custom, as I said, to different places. And yeah, there is a lot of variety in Spain when it comes to restaurants. You've got the very cheap end, although not as cheap as they used to be, the cheap end restaurants. You've always got the Menú del Día option in many places as well. And of course, you've got the higher end restaurants catering to people with more money in their pockets, of course, or people looking for a different type of dining experience as well. But thanks, Linda, for the comment there. We'll move on to another one. Let's see. This one here from Chris. I think real life experience along with education is important. In this particular case, I think her lying about having a degree in law was her undoing, since that is a specific and specialized study. Thanks, Chris. Again, talking about the politician Noelia Núñez. Don't quote me on that name. I think that is her name, who resigned last week as a result of her fudged CV. And the law degree, I think, is what didn't get believed. I think that was the problem. Real life experience, and that's a question that I also asked yesterday. What's more important, having a good CV for a politician, having those university studies, having that law degree, having the university postgraduate qualifications maybe, or having on-the-ground experience as well? And it seems to be far too common nowadays that people are going into political parties at a very young age, working their way up through the party, and they are the people that are representing the rest of the country, of course. And do they have that on-the-ground experience? Have they run small business? Have they been self-employed? Have they worked for companies? Do they understand the way the economy works? I don't know. These are some of the questions. It's fantastic to have those qualifications that you get sitting in a university hall for many, many years, but do you get that on the ground experience? That is the question that also needs to be asked. And are these the best people to run the country? People that don't have the real life experience? I don't know. Again, just putting it out there. But anyway, we'll move on. Another one here from Joe Town. No surprise, British people spend more. The average income is almost 49,000 euros a year there, compared to Spain's 30,655 euro average. That's a lot more buying power. Again, the debate that we see, Spanish people being priced out of their holidays, people willing to pay more for accommodation. And when you get average incomes, I don't know whether this is the correct figure or not for the average income in the United Kingdom, 49,000 euros compared to Spain's just over 30,000. But of course, there's a big difference there. People with higher purchasing power, people that are willing to spend more money for certain things. So, yes, no wonder, or no surprise, says Joe Towns here, that British people spend more because they've got more in their pockets to spend when they go on holidays. And that's the issue. And you can probably see this on display in places like, I don't know, maybe Benidorm, where you get that mix, you get that big British holiday population there with the Spanish holiday population, the mix, and perhaps That's why they go to certain areas there. And the costs are higher for the locals, maybe, but thanks for that. Is it true? Is that the average salary in Britain nowadays? 49,000 euros, whatever that would be in pounds. Let us know if it is the case in the comment section below. Another one here from Purea. Try paying $12 for a bottle, 355 mils of domestic beer, pretty much anywhere on the strip in Las Vegas. Thanks for the comment there, and again, related to the increasing costs on some or in some holiday destinations, I should say. We saw somebody last week complaining about Ibiza. We saw an article there before about Ibiza and the young man dying. But yeah, I think the price quoted was €8, was it, for a pint? €8 or £8, not sure exactly what the price was, but a lot of money, the person said they paid for a pint. And of course you got your sun lounge, which is another €30. And of course you've got your hotel accommodation, you've got this, you've got that. And in Las Vegas, which is also a popular holiday destination, $12 for a bottle of domestic beer. Not even an international beer, only your domestic beer, maybe a Budweiser or something like that. I don't know. Whatever the popular beers in the States are currently, that's what you're paying on the strip in Las Vegas, $12. And of course, as we know, people with more purchasing power than the locals perhaps head to that part of the country and they're willing to splurge, they're willing to splash out, which is the case in places here as well. For example, Ibiza, as we saw last week. So, yep, what can you do? If you want a cold beer, $12 is what you got to pay in Las Vegas, apparently. And the final comment here from Charlie, regular viewer, of course. Charlie, you're cheating on Spain with Portugal again. What's next? A Coldplay concert? Bit of comedy thrown in here by Charlie, of course. The big news story of the last couple of weeks, the executive that was caught out at the Coldplay concert with his personnel manager, I think, was it, or the head of human relations, the head of, not human relations, is it? HR, yeah, whatever that is, and human resources, sorry, and getting caught out at the concert, of course, the downfall that came as a result of that for that the person in question, I think, leaving the CEO role of that company, and that has been dominating the press in recent times, being caught out there on the kiss cam at the concert. And Charlie suggesting here that cheating on Spain with Portugal. Well, I do it every year, Charlie. Every year I come here for my summer getaway, and basically it's because of the cooler temperatures. I've never found a place either in Spain or Portugal that has such cool summer temperatures, where it rarely gets above 23 or 24 degrees Celsius in the nighttime temperatures as well, meaning that you can sleep quite comfortably, unlike where I live in Spain, where the summer temperatures are, for some, I'm not going to say they're not bearable, but for some people they are unbearable. Not being able to sleep at night, having to have a fan running for the whole time you're sleeping, or air conditioning or something like that. Not the case here, where it is a cool change, and that's why we come. And specifically in recent times for the dog, who you don't see in Madrid when the summer months come around. She disappears, and then you come here and she's everywhere. So she enjoys the cooler temperatures, as we all do here, and it is a fantastic part of the world where you can get away from the Iberian oven, as it has been called in recent times, the very, very hot temperatures that you get in the central part of Spain. Thanks, Charlie, for the comment. Now, going to go into the live chat in just a moment. Before I do, I need to do a few things. I can't change the backdrop picture. People have been sending backdrop pictures through. Thank you very much for those. When I get back to my regular location and have the setup, I will be able to do that, unless I can work out how to do it properly here. My computer doesn't seem to be allowing me to put an image on the background, so I won't do it currently, but when I get back to my normal location, I'll start to do that. So if you've got pictures to send through, please feel free to do so. The email address is on the screen now. You can see it up here, spainspeaks@gmail.com, and any other information that you want to send my way related to Spain, what's going on at the moment there. If some news that you don't see here pops up, let us know at that email address, and we'll try and get it on if it is of general interest, of course. Also, the like icon is on the screen just down there. You can, where is it? There it is. If you can hit that like icon, please, just below the video, you will find it. If you're watching on a computer, on your phone, you'll see the like icon also, and on a television, which has become a very popular way of watching YouTube nowadays, television sets, or at least the viewers that I have, some 45% of views now coming from television. So go into the settings and hit that like icon, please, if you can. We're currently sitting at 67 likes this evening. So we'll see if we can get that like tally up. Also, people that have supported the channel, excuse me, in recent times, whether it's people that have bought me a coffee, super thanks option here on YouTube, Patreon supporters, thank you very much for that support. Longer term supporters on Patreon, of course. And also the, the membership option here on the YouTube channel as well. From 99 cents a month, you can support the channel also. And basically, your support helps me keep making videos. So it's fundamental for my, what am I trying to say here? For the continuation of the channel, the support also from the viewers. Thank you very much for that. Now, into the chat section I'm going to go. Let me see if I can organize the chat section here. Let me see if I can scroll up to the top. Lots of familiar names here. First one from the Rosingol Pizarro family, valued members, of course. Oh, I didn't know we could come early to the chat. Thank you very much. Yes, you can. As soon as I start or as soon as I post a live stream, I don't need to go live for people to leave a comment in the chat. You can do that whenever I do it, whether it's a couple of hours before or 4 or 5 hours before, whenever I organize the live chat or the live session. Let's say people can come into the chat and leave a comment there. It doesn't have to be in real time. So thanks for highlighting that fact. The Jazz Shed, hoping everyone is well. We can't make the live stream, but we'll catch up later. By the way, well done, the Lions. If anybody's not familiar with the Lions, it is the British rugby union side that is currently travelling in Australia, I think, maybe going to New Zealand as well. I don't know. I suppose they would be. He wouldn't go all that way without having a few tests down there against the All Blacks, but they beat the Australian Wallabies the other day, and I think in all of the tests that have taken place so far, don't quote me on that, but the combined team, the Welsh, the Scots, the English together in the British Lions team, I believe. And if I've missed anybody out, sorry, but I think those are the countries involved. High Flyer John, valued member, also in the chat here. Best wishes for the week ahead. Thanks for that, John. What else? Let's have a look. We've got Alan in the chat here as well. Buenas, mis amigos. 29 in a humid Philadelphia, flying to Madrid tomorrow, then to El Puerto de Santa Maria. Can't wait. Oh, sorry, a train to El Puerto, not flying to Jerez, Alan, this time around. El Conquistador from Florida, where it's really hot right now outside. Thank you very much for that, El Conquistador. Good to see you in the chat today. Let me just check something here. Just check something here quickly. See what the oh, there we go. Just checking the score in the final of the European Championship. 1-1 currently, probably going into extra time. What else we got going on here? Regina's in the chat. Hello from Estonia. Weather is very warm, 30 degrees. Unusual there, like in Spain. Finally summer. Thanks for that, Regina. Getting some warm weather in that part of the world, Estonia. Not sure what the usual summer temperatures would be, but 30 might be a bit warm for you guys. Don't know. Stay cool. Stay cool. Amanda's in the chat coming in from a turbulent so-called UK. Not sure what's happening there. Maybe turbulent politically speaking, Amanda. Don't know. Is that what we're going on about there? Let us know. Andrew also coming in from the United Kingdom, 23 degrees Celsius in that part of London southeast. A nice day there. Hope we're having a great weekend. Have had a good weekend, Andrew. Almost over now, but hasn't been too bad. Can't complain. Jose Carlos is in the chat also. Good Sunday for you all. Thanks, Jose Carlos. Not sure if we've seen Jose Carlos before here. What else? Claudine saying, Ceuta is very bad. I was there and I couldn't walk around at night after a show. I had to have an escort in Ceuta. Not sure, Claudine. I haven't been to that part of Spain, those autonomous cities down there, but I imagine that they do have their issues like many cities do. But if you don't feel safe, that's not a good thing, no. Gold Geologist coming in, finally catching up live from San Antonio, Texas. Thanks for that. Claudine also saying Marbella was bad as well. So various places bad according to Claudine there, not feeling safe. Andrew saying that the AVE train is great. I'm sure you will enjoy a Cruzcampo in the bar. Thanks for that, Andrew. Al obviously taking the train to El Puerto. Not sure if it is an AVE train all the way to El Puerto or not. Or another type of fast train, not sure. Andrew saying here, 54 miners arriving in Ceuta in one day. Hundreds of miners cross the English Channel every single day. There we go. Thanks for that, Andrew. What else we got going on here? Erica coming in from a not so hot terraza, I should say. Haven't been feeling well lately due to the heat, lack of sleep, but back again today. Let's hope we get more storms to help keep it cooler for myself and Erica's cats. There we go, the hot weather uncomfortable in that part of Spain, Terrassa, Catalonia. What else? Alan's in the chat here as well. Hi Stuart, it's been a while since I've managed to watch you live. Interesting how the last few weeks people watching have changed in their attitude to you in a negative way. Only for a couple of videos that I put out, Alan. I wouldn't say that it's a general consensus. So when you talk about certain things, people get their opinions which might not agree with mine on certain topics. And that's what's happened in recent times. But anyway, we move on. Sani's in the chat here. Hope you've had a lovely weekend. Thanks, Sani. Good to see you. The Rossingol Pizarro family. Now that we have a car, we are more interested in day trips. You can go to so many places in Spain within 2 hours of any other place, except maybe from Zaragoza. Thanks for that, Rossingol family. That is true. Spain is a good country to travel day trips, get around different places, easily accessible, depending on where you are, of course. If you're in a city like Madrid, it's easy to get to different interesting cities within 2 or 3 hours. You can travel to many cities in Castilla y León. You can travel to Extremadura. You can be in Valencia in 3 hours as well from Madrid. So you've got those options. Not the same if you're up in the northwest of the country in a city like A Coruña. 2 hours won't get you far there. But the rest of the country, well, in the central part of the country, yes, you can. What else we got going on here? Claudine also saying the best place for a holiday in Spain is Calpe and Altea in the Valencian community. Thanks for that. Roland in the chat here. Best wishes from Marbella. The weather there is nice, sunny, and 28 degrees Celsius. Thanks, Roland, for that. Andrew saying the only skill that a politician is required to have is to be able to slag off the opposition. None of them have much interest in their citizens. Seems to be the case, Andrew. We see it constantly in Spanish politics nowadays. It's just an argument between the different political parties. Nothing really gets spoken about. The big issues never get spoken about. A lot of the parties feel that they're on their own when it comes to setting laws and putting policies through. And it's a shame that we've got to that situation where political parties can't work together, it seems, for the betterment of the country as a whole. And I'm sure that's also happening in other places too. Antonio Garcia saying, when democracy started in Spain in 78, lots of politicians were top-notch civil servants with huge prestige, but now not the best people become politicians. Our democracy is not doing great. I'm sure many people would agree with Antonio in that comment there. If we surveyed the Spanish population, I'm sure a lot of people would second Antonio's words there. Another comment here from the family. I'm sure there are plenty of other folks with lies on their CV. Real crime was lying unnecessarily. Don't need a law degree to be a top influencer. Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? Why did she feel the need to lie on the CV when she did have the position already in the party? Or did she get the position as a result of her CV? I don't know. I've got no idea. Or maybe you need to be, or feel that you need to be a lawyer or have a law degree to be a politician in Spain, as they all seem to have law degrees, or at least a lot do. Else is this USA. I've been to Ceuta twice, once in 2022 and 2017, both times staying at the same hotel, La Muralla, next to the Plaza de Africa, crossing from Ceuta to Morocco. You won't notice the time change immediately. There we go. Thanks for that. What else? Antonio saying, we want the best civil servants as politicians, but they don't have to work right now for the government, but they have to already have passed the civil servant huge exams and being qualified. There we go. Another point of view there from Antonio. Andrew saying, odd how people spending the money get criticised and not the business owners for charging rip-off prices. Yes. That is true. The business is taking advantage of it, of course. Katona Tech says that they'll be coming to Zaragoza in September, God willing. I pray my visa gets approved so I can experience the life in Spain. Thanks for that. Good luck with your visa application. Don't know which country you're putting it in from, but hopefully you won't get any issues. Bob saying, valued member Bob and Jill down there in Torrevieja saying, Fiddle's CV is not confined to Spain. Rachel Reeves, the UK Chancellor of the Exchequer, has a very questionable CV. Plus, she also plagiarised the contents of her book. Plagiarism, yes. Very, very difficult, I imagine, to write a book without plagiarism nowadays because, as we say, everything has been written, right? Or very, very difficult to be original with your thoughts. And I suppose musicians can also have the same issue. And I suppose that's why we get so many songs with that seem to be sampled from other songs of the past. I imagine that's what's going on. But fiddling the CV, not unique. I imagine Charlie was joking. I'm sure he said that in jest, as they say. Daka Brom is saying it's not a crisis, it's Sanchez's plan looking for votes in the future. Probably referring to the people coming into Ceuta, I imagine. Rossingle family saying, do I have plans to make the channel my full-time job after 100K? No, I do not plan to make it a full-time job because I don't believe in putting all of my eggs into the one basket. Things can go wrong when you do that. I have experienced in the past. So my idea would be to balance, if I can, between the channel, keep it going, trying to find content, interesting things to put out there. It's becoming more and more difficult because I've noticed a lot of channels now on YouTube that are just putting out AI-generated content. And it's absolute rubbish content. It's just like some type of fake voice saying things as silly as, what's the most popular food in Spain? And so the most popular food in Spain is paella. It's eaten in the Valencian community. And these videos are just coming out sometimes 8, 9, 10 a day. And it's swallowing up. Oh, no, it's swallowing up, maybe not the correct word, but it's flooding the YouTube ecosystem with rubbish content. And I'm not saying that my content is top quality content, but I do my best. At least I try to be as original as I can. I do the videos myself. I edit the videos myself. I put in the work. Then you see this AI-generated rubbish coming out. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be using AI for different things. Maybe you can get some ideas. But when you start to generate this AI content, it's a bad look, and people watch the videos because they know no better, I suppose. They know no better, and they know no better. But no, the simple answer to that is no. I'm not going to dedicate 100% to YouTube because of that. Because do we know that YouTube has a long history? Is another social media platform going to come along which will bring it down? I don't know. You can't, in my experience, put all of those eggs into the one basket, as they say. Torsten saying here, try Alerta Digital if you have some alternative to the left media. It's great to get some different opinions. Thanks, Chip, for that. I'll look into that. The, what's it called? Alerta Digital. Kim saying the whole world turned upside down, it would seem. I'm from the UK and things are not getting any better. Far too much violence and right-wing extremist groups. I'm going to keep out of that conversation, Kim, because as Alan mentioned before, better not to stir the pot, as they say. Oh, so Suzanne it is here. Thanks, Suzanne, for that. What else we got going on here? Let's have a look. Mark saying, glad to join the live stream. Hopefully all being well, coming to Spain soon to practice my Spanish. Love Spain. Thanks, Mark. Hope all goes well with the with your trip to Spain, and that you do enjoy your learning experience. I think it's always best to learn a language on the ground if you can, whether it is in Spanish in Spain or Portuguese in Portugal, or Spanish in a Latin American country, South America, Central America, North America, Mexico, wherever. You can practice on the ground the best way, I think. Ian saying Portugal speaks. No, Ian, because I don't bring any Portugal content onto the channel. I could do. Maybe I could expand the horizon here. Charlie saying, did you read my accusation about cheating on Spain with Portugal? It's a disgrace. However, I need to book a way to Lisbon soon myself and weighing up train versus plane. I'd hop on a plane, Charlie, although Portugal has some issues at the moment with strikes at the airport, so be careful there, but I'd plane it. Second channel? Don't know if I've got time in. I'm fairly pushed to the limits with one channel, let alone two. Some people seem to be able to do it. Maybe I could set up an AI channel and start doing what I just criticized. I don't know. Colin saying Stu's on holiday. That is true. Not so much a holiday. I just changed my location, Colin, just to get away from the heat. I'll take a few days off probably. In order to diversify, you'll open up an OnlyFans for Spain lovers. Don't know whether OnlyFans would be a viable option, at least with the majority of content that is on OnlyFans nowadays. I'm sure OnlyFans was originally set up not to be what it is today, but it has become. It has become. Ian saying, I agree with keeping the main job, as YouTube can close channels with sometimes the reason being obscure. Yes, Ian, that is the problem when you, as I said, you put all of your eggs into the one basket, like a YouTube platform, or maybe you're a TikToker out there or an Instagrammer, and all of a sudden your channel gets shut down. I know that there's a big complaint going on at the moment that people, not necessarily, generating a lot of money through Facebook, but they have a business where they rely on things like Facebook and Instagram for their advertising and their, social media content. And because everything's run by AI bots nowadays, they shut your channel down very, very quickly if they think that your content is not meeting their guidelines. And good luck trying to get it back up again, because these are faceless corporations a lot of the times. I don't have any problems with YouTube. I chat sometimes with the YouTube support that creators get, and it seems to be quite good. I'm fairly sure that it's not a bot that is behind that a lot of the times. I don't know where the people are, but I always seem to get a fairly prompt reply, and they answer the questions that I have. But I've heard with some other platforms that is not the case. So anybody, this would be my recommendation for anybody that's looking to start a career and only generate income through a social media channel. Probably not a good idea. Have something, have a backup as well, or something that you can do just in case. Or, as I said, try to put those eggs in different baskets, if that makes sense, because these are big corporations and you don't know what's around the corner as far as technology is concerned, as far as the guidelines are concerned, and all of those things. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Charlie's saying, I have 3 possible incomes as an autonomo, but getting work in the summer is near impossible. Yep, Charlie, welcome to the club. For many, many people, that is an issue in Spain. There's an article in the paper today on exactly the same thing, saying that something like over 300,000 people that are in the education sector in August, they don't have any work. So they go on unemployment benefits. And it is what it is. Lots of businesses in central Spain have to shut down because the clientele abandons the town or abandons the city where they are. They head to the coast. There's no business or not viable business to keep them open. So it's a problem, the summer months in Spain, if you are in one of those seasonal type jobs, education included, because the last thing people are thinking about in August is education. So if that's the case, it's tough. Susan here, maybe add an events business for people who watch the channel, so it's not 100% relying on social media. Yeah, there are other ways as well, but it's quite time consuming. So you have to keep that in mind as well. If you have nothing else better to do, that is, of course. Yeah, so the time constraints, of course, and it's not easy. Ages ago, you said to teach English in Spain. I took that advice, and look at me, happy, just having fun. Yeah, it is a profession, Charlie, that you can make money off, but there's going to be months where it's not as good as it is in those other months, if that makes sense. And a lot of people have the same issues. But maybe try and get a side hustle going or something like that. See you in September, the student said. Absolutely, but they'll be back. And you have to be able to generate enough income in those months that you're working, Charlie, to get you through those summer months, or set up your own summer camps or something like that. That's always an option. You can always get people maybe together and set up your own thing, at least in July. August maybe not, but in July that is it. Charlie here saying, or Charlie's saying here, oh right, I've always lived in coastal tourist areas and it's the opposite. Most of the work is in the summer months, but nothing in winter. Yep, it's the exact opposite. That is it. That is it. Central Spain heads to the coast, shuts down, and the coast becomes alive, let's say. But when that summer ends, things go back to normal there. Teach English to the Southern Hemisphere. Piece of advice here from Suzanne, sorry. Yeah, Charlie's going to visit family, take advantage of the time off. That's it, Charlie. That's it. Just make sure you can generate enough income in those months that you are active, and saving, important to save. Now I'm going to wrap it up. It's been a pleasure. I'll be back again on Tuesday with another live stream. Hope to see you guys then. Until that moment arrives, hasta luego, hasta entonces, adios, and bye-bye.